Hello everyone. Today we will discuss in our computer graphics about display devices. Here we have three types of display: emissive display, non-emissive display, and the hard display. In emissive display section we have cathode ray tube, which is CRT, the plasma panel, the field electromagnetic display, and light emitting diode or the LED display. In non-emissive display we have liquid crystal display, and in hard displays we have the printers. Moving to the next, refresh buffer or the frame buffer. Picture defined is stored in a memory area is called the frame buffer or the refresh buffer. The memory area holds the set of intensive values from all the screen points. Stored intensive values are retrieved from the refresh buffer and pointed on the screen one row, which is known as the scan line, at a time. On black and white display system we have 1 bit per pixel, and in frame buffer commonly it is called as bit mapping. That means if we use black and white display system, it is called as bit mapping, and for the systems we have multiple bits per pixel. Here the frame buffer is referred as the pix mapping. Those two definitions, bit mapping and pix mapping, are important for your examination. Now, rendering. The process of generating a pixel from three-dimensional virtual screen is called as rendering. In easy words, the rendering means you can generate a picture is known as rendering, because when we work in our Adobe Photoshops, after creating and editing our picture, you can do it rendering to make it better. Now, the display methods. Here we have two types of displays: raster scan and the random scan. The raster scan. In the raster scan display, you can the complete image on the raster display is from the raster, which is the set of horizontal scan lines on each row with the individual pixels. The raster display works as from this horizontal line it moves from here to there, then moves to the next one, then from this dotted line it goes to this point and moves like this, and then again goes here and moves like this. After completing the cycle, in the last section it moves to the vertically and then starts again. Here those lines are scan lines, and first it moves from horizontally, then at the last point it moves vertically. That's how the raster display works. A raster display, a raster image is the collection of dots which is known as the pixels. So the display is divided into small pixels. The problem of raster display that in raster images, here we have aliasing. If you zoom the picture, you have some hazy or zigzag image. This is known as aliasing. In raster scan display, this is a very common factor. In raster scan display, we can display our elements very fast by applying techniques. One is the even fold and odd fold. In the odd fold section, the lines goes from here to here, then goes like this, and in even section the line goes from this to this. That is how at a time we can draw the image very fast and in the convenient way. First pass of the display is the even line, and second pass of the display is the odd scan line. This is known as interlatching in the raster scan display. The disadvantages of raster scan display is aliasing that we have already discussed in our previous slide. Aliasing is just the hazy picture of this image. The random scan display. The random scan display is used for geometrical parameters or primitives such as points, line, curve, polygons, which are called based on the mathematical notations. The random scan displays are the examples of previous displays like as CRT. In that time, TVs and monitors were very big, but those TVs and monitors resolution was very good, and the most common factor that time the TVs are very costly. But now we are using the raster scan display, which is very cheap, but the picture quality is not as good as the random scan display. Now the display processor. Display processor in short is DP. The process of DP is to free up the CPU from the graphical cores. The major task of the display processing is to scan conversation. In a scan conversation, we need to digitalize a picture defining a given application or program into a set of pixel intensively values are stored in the frame buffer. The scan conversation is nothing but to create an image from a mathematical notation is known as a scan conversation. That's for today. Thank you.